Welcome to Building 101, Empire in the Sky. This is the demo version of Empire in the Sky and will be available in August of 2012. Basically, we're going to go over how to build your own starship. If you click the blue fabricator button, the fabricator panel appears, and the fabricator panel shows you all of your blueprints that you can fabricate. Now, in the demo version, money does not matter, so you'll be able to experiment. Basically, click New to create a new blueprint, or if you select one from the list, you can fabricate it, or you can redesign it, which creates a copy of it that you can then manipulate. I'm going to click the New button and take you through the various editors to show you how you make a ship and a weapon and all the things that you need to construct a new starship. So first of all, the list down here is of the components that you can select, and in this window, which is on the upper left, this is the front view, the top view, and the side view is to the right. And it tells you what direction the front is in, and also identifies the views up here. If you click the locking and unlocking icon, you can move around parts of the GUI to get it out of the way temporarily. I'd also like to mention that in this particular version that I'm recording, there is a small bug that will be fixed, which is a button in the lower right hand corner is barely visible on the screen. That's the Done button, which either aborts a blueprint that has not enough parts, or it will save the blueprint and allow you to fabricate it. So I'm going to relock the GUI so that the money counter is out of the way. Down here is the list of components that we have already. We're going to create a new one. You'll note that because nothing is in either of these top two windows, that means that you cannot select anything but a hull or a building foundation inside this list right now. But you can create any type of component. And the first thing we're going to do is create a new hull, but you could create whatever you want. When you click the New button, here's the menu. And inside the menu, you are selecting what type of item you're going to describe to the fabricator. A hull is a part of the ship that is the body or fuselage. There's the weapon. Foundation is, of course, the body of a building, if you will. A weapon, which is stuck onto a hull. A launch system, which is like a weapon, but launches a missile or fighter. Then there's, and can also launch troop transport pods that are for entering other ships, like crew containing torpedoes. So then a tractor beam. Now this particular option may move into the weapon editor, but a tractor beam is not fully implemented yet. It won't be available in the demo, but will allow you to move things around and collect larger asteroids. We have locomotion. Locomotion is a thruster and is an integral part of creating a starship, so we'll be making one of those. There's also the commodity, which is just to assemble something that can be then sold in a trading scenario. So let's look at hull creation. Now, once I click that, we're in the component editor. Up here it says component. The first thing you want to do is rename it. And this will kind of set the pace for what you're going to be creating. We're going to call this the Dreadnought. So we've named it. Now you can do this later. You don't have to do it first, but it's the Dreadnought class. So let's go to the top side boxes. You can click on these, and it will then enter the model editor. Down here we have the brush, which is a fancy word for the thing that will appear when you click. Here we're going to add this shape. and you can see it kind of looks like a gas tank or something. You can change the color by rotating the mouse wheel, and if you click the middle button, it will randomly change the color, but I happen to like that one. So we're going to put that in there. Now you can see here there's the top-down view, and then on the right there's the preview, which is 3D. And you can rotate this around to take a look at it just by mousing over it, or using your finger if this is on a mobile device, but there's no current plan for a mobile version. The top-down view allows you to see it as it'll appear on the screen when you're flying around. It's useful for building buildings of a certain, appearance, for attaching them to structures, for instance. And here, there's a button that allows you to place a tech point. A tech point indicates where, for instance, something is coupled. The only thing that is coupled currently is the thrusters coupled to the main ship. You need at least one to complete a hull. The second icon is, or other icons available are, for instance, on this particular model type, which is hull, you can create a light, you can create a hard point. So let's go ahead and add one hard point here. So I just clicked and it added it, and I can add multiple hard points. You can have up to 10 hard points, but only one coupler. Let's add the coupler here. So this is where you're going to attach a thruster. And let's just add a couple more models real quick to make it look a little bit more like a Dreadnought class starship, or whatever that means. So we're going to add this round thing. And because I've added the round thing, I'll need to then move the tech point coupler. So you can see down here now we have this shape. It's off center, so we're going to add some stuff on the other side to even it out a little bit, just visually. So I'm going to add this this part here, and then this thing. So now you have this kind of thing going on. Now you can rotate these if you hit the middle mouse button while selecting that shape. So I'm going to rotate this. Now when you first click it, it rotates it based on whatever view you're using. So I had rotated it, but you couldn't see it, that it rotated because it's round. But from this side, you can see I've turned it on its side. If you use the mouse wheel, you can make it bigger, and you can modify the way it makes it bigger or smaller or rotates by holding down Control, Alt, or Shift, just like in one of those expensive programs. I just deleted the object by right-clicking. I'm going to add it again, but this time I'm going to make it look a little different. Okay, now we've got this thing, and that's pretty good. There's only 5 brushes used. You can use up to 10, but that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to add another hard point. All I have to do is click and make sure that it's got a box around it that says that it's going to be writing points to it like that. So we're going to add another one here, right there, and right over there. There we go. So now there's 6 hard points. We'll add one more. Let's see. I'll put one right here, and then I'm going to move it up on top of that thing, that one part of the ship. So now I moved it in the one view so that it was sitting on top of the thing in this view. So you can kind of see there. It's going to look something like that. I'm going to click Done, and then I'm going to click Done again. You can see that the preview has changed here. So click Done again. And it's still blank here on this main screen because it didn't add that as the base. So when you're building a blueprint, before we were creating a component, now we're back to that blueprint editor. And the blueprint editor allows you to basically select a hull or foundation and then use it as a base for other parts to be added. So here we have, you can zoom this with the mouse wheel. The hard points are a little off center right now, but you can still use the you know, in fact it needs, I think it needs to have a few numbers added to it, but basically you can add things to these hard points. So there's a little glitch there, I apologize. It's an early version. Anyway, let's make a weapon. So now the list shows weapons and thrusters or locomotions, which allow you to kind of, you know, pick from things already. I happen to have a thruster and I have several guns created, but we're going to create a brand new one. So let's click new. And now that we've got new, we're going to do a weapon. Now there's several different types of weapons. The ones that are working right now are the bullet, the beam, and the blaster. So the blaster is what we're going to make. And over here on the right, I can control these sliders, which allow me to set the settings around this particular weapon, change the type of graphics that are going into creating this bullet, which is right here. So I can also set the projectile speed and the firing rate of the gun. But before I'm done here, I have to click this button, again the top and side preview, and I actually have to create a gun or else it won't save my changes to the weapon. So I'm just gonna throw together a gun real quick. You can see I was just muddling with that. You can hold down the Alt and use the middle mouse button to rotate this like that on the left view there, and now we've got something that looks kind of like a mounted gun. Now we could place multiple emission points from this gun. We can also make what do you call it, a spread weapon. So here we have 2 barrels. I'm just going to add an emitter point to the end of each barrel, and then you click done, and you can click done again, or you can further work on this. There's a double slider here, so you use the right and left mouse buttons to set the extents of this slider. And you can use the up and down scroll wheel to change the way that the flare is added, the flare channel is rendered. It fades in and out based on that waveform. So you can adjust your bullet's appearance that way. So now we've got something that looks pretty cool. It's very subtle, you have to see it very close. You can see in the upper right also there's a rads, infrared, nions, and temperature. And this is kind of an indicator of what your settings are going to produce, the type of weapon and the type of damage. Let's click done here. Alright, I'm going to assign these weapons, this new weapon. And I did not name it, but I could have. I forgot to. It gives the generic name of component. So now you can stick the gun on these hard points. We've got 3 back there. I happen to have other guns, so I'm going to mix them with one other gun type. And I'm just going to put those here. And now we've got all 6 guns filled. The only thing we need now, and it's kind of optional, is the thruster. Let's go with new. We're going to create a locomotion. And we're going to build into this a little thruster component. That kind of looks like that. And this will be added to the ship. Now let me remind you to place one emitter here, which allows you to tell it where the smoke comes out of. We have experimented with multiple emitters there, but right now you can only do one. So when you're done doing that, you can name it up here. Just call it, see, I already have an ion drive, so we'll call this one the nuclear propulsion. And we'll click done. So we named it that. And done again. And then you've got that. Let's see. Things are a little slow. There's some optimizations that have to occur on this panel before, or you know, around the time I release it. So we're gonna put that right there. And then this button is not visible, but there is a done button over here. I'm just going to click that. And now we're back on the fabricator panel. We picked out the new ship that we created with the new guns and the new thruster. And click fabricate. Click the 3 boxes in the bottom, which is your cargo. And the nano cargo has a copy of your dreadnought in it. You can click switch to this ship. And now close your cargo panel, and you've got your brand new ship that you just made with the new guns. You can go try it out on some enemies. So, this concludes our broadcast day. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you'll help support Empire in the Sky. Thanks a lot.